Good morning, and thanks for tuning in. This is What's Going On Central Illinois, the Greater Peoria Public Affairs Program. It's a weekly check of charitable community events, organizations, and neighborhood goings-on with me, Roxy, a production of Cumulus Central Illinois. And with me on the phone this morning is MT Ragan. He is the president and founder of 22VA, a not-for-profit right here in Central Illinois. Good morning, MT.
Good morning.
So great to have you on the show. I have known you in circles in Peoria for years, and what you're doing for veterans is really wild. Can you explain to us what it is that 22VA is and how it came about?
22VA stands for 22 Veteran Artists. We actually had to change our name on our not-for-profit paperwork because people were staying away from us. They thought we were somehow loosely affiliated with the Veterans Administration. VA stands for Veteran Artists. Back in 2011, I was asked to be in a Veterans Fine Art show. I had made some art and shown a few people, and I said, Veterans Fine Art Show doesn't sound like my kind of thing. You know, my art is not fine. It begins with the F, but it's definitely not fine. So I entered a Veterans Fine Art Show in 2011 and 2012, I think it was. Anyway, I entered the show, and first year I didn't put my name on anything because I didn't want anybody saying anything like, oh, who's this dude with doing crazy stuff? And I got an honorable mention because they didn't know who I was. The second year, I actually put a piece in it that's kind of our signature piece. And it's a headpiece that I made about the headaches I was having, the problems I was having, just getting mentally things out of my head and putting it into an art piece. And I was going through a really nice divorce back in 2007 when I made this. And rather than putting a bullet in my head one night, I actually fired out in the field. Instead of putting it inside my head, I put the shell casing inside the head of the art piece.
Wow.
And the weirdest thing happened. My headache started going away. I'm like, wow, okay, art heals. That's interesting. But fast forward to the Fine Art Show. When I entered it into the Fine Art Show, there was a Vietnam veteran that was judging the show, and he said something along the lines of, he'd been judging these shows for 16 years, and he said the piece that won this year, he says, it shows me that there's someone in this room that knows what it's like to wake up inside my head. And he said the piece is called Headaches, but I think it's about PTSD. And then he sat there and he broke it down and said what he thought about the piece, and it was almost exactly what I was going for. Fast forward a couple years, I guess it was the next year, the Fine Art Show was going away. They weren't going to do it anymore. And I decided to kind of take it over, and I didn't want to limit it to fine art. I wanted any veteran that had a story to be able to show their artwork, no matter how good it was, to help them get stuff out of their head. So I went to my now vice president, Randolph Prunty. He's a riverboat guy from Vietnam. So his Brown Water Navy, was a twin 50 machine gunner on a patrol boat down in the Delta. I went to Randy and I said, I got some phone numbers and names from Daryl down at Veterans Pub and Pizza. He gave me 13 names and numbers of people. With the amount of people that I already knew that were veterans, we had 22 people. And I told Randy, I said, my grandfather was a veteran. He committed suicide when I was 5 years old, shot himself in the head. I'd like to make a group about veteran suicide. And Randy said, well, my son-in-law was a Gulf War veteran like you, and he killed himself. I never told you that story, but, he's always been on my mind. So we had a meeting with a bunch of the artists, and one of our artists at the time, sorry, you can hear my roosters in the background.
I know, I love that, by the way.
One of my artists, he was 82 years old at the time, Korean War veteran. He told us that his grandfather had committed suicide. Grandfather was a World War I veteran and had hung himself in the barn when he was a teenager, and he found him. Then two other artists in our group had admitted that they attempted suicide. So we were on the right track and decided to try to go for an art therapy kind of thing and teach veterans to use art for therapy, dealing with PTSD, anxiety, depression, whatever they're dealing with. The whole thing is get it out of your head. If you can't talk about it, make some art about it.
Yeah.
And since we started doing this, we found a lot of really amazing artists. I think that every city in the United States probably has 22 veterans that are artists that don't know each other. So we're on a fast track to try to, get people in Peoria connected. I'm sure there are veterans that are listening to you right now that, don't know about our group, or that have some type of art skill. They don't show their art because they don't know where to show it. Well, we have a show every year, November and December's. Holidays are hardest on veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Spent a lot of holidays alone in the military and away and overseas and stuff. So suicide rate spikes a little bit. So at the Peoria Public Library, this year will be our 12th annual show at the Peoria Public Library.
That's amazing.
And there's a huge gallery downstairs, and we'll have it all filled with artwork made by veterans, and some by veterans' families, and some family members of veterans who have committed suicide. So we want everybody to be able to find a way to get out of their head whatever it is that's troubling them.
And I will say, first, thank you for your service, MT. And I know we're all designed a little differently, and some people can handle these stressors. I don't know that I could. And you hit the nail on the head. Art heals. It helps you to communicate your problems and what's going on inside your head. And I commend you. This is a beautiful thing. You're helping to normalize that mental health, it's a little twitchy sometimes, even for people that haven't seen war. And seeing war is something that I can't even imagine. Thank you for helping to normalize it and giving people an outlet to get those nasty thoughts out of their head. MT Ragan is who I'm talking to. He is the president and founder of 22 VA Veteran Artists. You guys are really beautifying the world with these amazing art pieces and helping people get through the hard times. I know there's a lot of other things that you do besides the art. You take a plunge in the river. Let's talk about the Patriot Plunge.
Okay, well, the 22nd of every month, because 22 veterans a day, actually more than that, but that's kind of the number the VA and everybody goes with. 22 veterans a day take their life on average. 22 a day. That's a lot.
That's
you
a
think
lot.
about it. If Congress were to commit suicide at the same rate that veterans do, there would be nobody left in 26 days.
Dang.
It's
wow.
phenomenal. That's the line I throw at congressmen every time I run into them, because I don't think anybody really gets it. People are like, you mean 22 a week? No, it's 22
per
a
day.
day.
So that's almost 1 an hour.
Yep. So on 22nd of every month, we go to the East Peoria Boat Club.
Love that place.
And I started doing it during the Polar Plunge back in 2023. You know me, I kind of stand out in the crowd. I went down there. I waited till everybody jumped in the water, and I wanted to be the last one jumping in the water because I had a message. I recorded the message and put it on Facebook and stuff. You were down there, I'm pretty sure.
I was.
I got done, and then I was recording an intro for Adventure Sports Outdoors. That was going to be televised on Adventure Sports Outdoors, and people kept running out and going, "Hey, you need to get in the clubhouse. You won something." I said, "I didn't enter anything." "Well, you won something." I got up there and I won best costume. I was just dressed like me. They said the dude in the kilt with the dreadlocks. Yeah,
that's you.
Best costume. I'm like, 2023, I'll take it. With everything going on,
yeah.
I'll take that. So we go down there at noon. Anytime the weather is warm, we do it on the beach. When it starts getting colder and they shut down the power at the boat docks, we actually walk down the ramp. And many times we've had to have Spring Bay Fire Department cut a hole in the ice in order for us to be able to jump in the river. But the thing on that, I remember one of the first ones I did was during that polar vortex 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 33 below wind chill. And one of the guys from Adventure Sports Outdoors was filming. He says, "Maybe you guys should pick another day." I said, "No, in the military, they never told me they're canceling a mission because of the weather."
Right.
Never once did that happen. So, if I was aviation, maybe they would, but never got that opportunity. So on the 22nd of the month, every month, I'm at East Peoria Boat Club. I did it like 2 weeks after surgery last year. I had a little surgery and they told me not to jump. Well, I jumped anyway and just cleaned it up, Whatever's going to kill me is going to kill me, and I don't think it's going to be jumping in the river. But I jump at noon at the East Peoria Boat Club, Spring Bay Fire Department, Water Rescue. They're the only water rescue in the area. In the cold weather months, they actually get in the water with us in their dry suits, so they get to use it as a training evolution. So win-win. It's helping out the fire department. It's helping us out. It's raising awareness about veteran suicide, and the more the merrier.
Yes.
More people can come down there, the better, because at 7 p.m., we'll be at the VFW, and I do what's called an ice water plunge. I call it the polar beer plunge, because if you jump in the ice water for 3 minutes, I'm going to buy you a beer. We actually have beer there from Casper Brewing, a veteran-owned company in Bloomington. The VFW in Peoria Heights does a lot of stuff that people don't know about. I highly recommend Taco Tuesday, but if you're up there on the 22nd and I'm there, I'm going to give you a personal tour of the back room. It's an entire art gallery of all veteran artwork. But we're actually doing a couple different things besides the Peoria Heights, VFW. We have rented out from the Peoria Park District a building. So we actually rented out the old Detweiler Golf Course Clubhouse.
Okay.
And we've got it set up, and that's where I do podcasts from. We do some interesting stuff. We talk about upcoming legislation that's going to affect veterans. We call that BOHICA. We explain a lot of military terminology that people won't know, like Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, for example. I won't go into that on the radio, but that's one that's well known. BOHICA, not so much, but stands for Bend Over, Here It Comes Again. So I think when we look at upcoming legislation that may affect veterans, that's a good name for it. We're also starting off this year a Blue Falcon Award. So that's going to be something you have to listen to my podcast. If you don't already know it, you're going to have to Google it because I can't say what a Blue Falcon is on the radio.
MT Ragan, 22 VA. He's president and founder. And Blue Falcon, I'm saying you probably shouldn't Google it on your work computer is what I'm guessing, MT.
Probably not. It's not that bad, but the military has a lot of euphemism, acronyms, whatever. A lot of people don't understand. So we try to give like a military acronym of the day. We have an artist spotlight of the day. I'm going to have to get my buddy Andre Petty on there sometime soon. He's one of my favorite artists.
He's an amazing artist.
I call him He's a recruiter's dream because I was a Navy recruiter for 5 years in this area. That guy was a Navy firefighter, a damage controlman, and now he's in the Peoria Fire Department. And it's just amazing to see him take the knowledge, skills, and abilities he had, utilize the college benefits, which a lot of veterans don't utilize, and take it on to his career. And the other thing that we do that's big with 22 VA, both myself and Randy are former veteran service officers, so we work on disability claims for veterans.
Wonderful.
So any veterans that don't have a disability claim in or don't know how to traverse the VA gauntlet to get help with their claims, we're there to help them out. I find tons of people that don't know. If you watch TV late at night, you'll see ads about Monsanto. Were you ever exposed to Roundup? Well, it just turns out that Monsanto also made Agent Orange, not just Roundup weed killer. So any of the diseases you see that are related to Roundup are also diseases that any Vietnam veteran that was boots on ground in Vietnam, you need to be screened and see if you have any of these. You can actually go to the VA website, look under Agent Orange presumptive illnesses, and there's a ton of diseases related to Agent Orange. I actually have one art piece that's all about that, and I show that at a lot of different things. It'll be down at our clubhouse. It's actually Randolph Prunty actually has it on his Facebook as cover picture. It's got the colors of the Vietnam service ribbons, the Vietnam ribbons that you would have got if you're boots on ground in Vietnam. I have them coming like tears out of blackened in eyes on an orange-based headpiece with all the diseases related to Agent Orange. And I've had Vietnam veterans stop and look at that and go, "What is this?" I said, "Those are all the diseases related to Agent Orange." I had a guy at Ignite Peoria like 5 years ago say, "Well, I've got this one, and this one."
Oh, wow.
I say, "Well, you need to call 1-800-827-1000, dial option 8, tell them that you intend to file a claim. From that date, we have a year to develop your claim. I'll get you with the right people to help you develop the claim. And if you don't want the money, that's fine. Donate it to your church, donate to your favorite charity, put it in your grandkids' college fund. I don't care. Take advantage of the fact now that you were not able to get workman's comp in the military. You can actually receive some disability benefit from things that happen to you while you're in the military. And a lot of people, the younger guys need it. Us older guys don't need it. No, everybody deserves compensation for the illnesses and injuries they had while they were in the military. So we strive not only as an art group to help people out with art, we help people out with their disability claims, get them to the right place. We're also trying to find out which American Legions and VFWs we're going to be able to put art in, because we want to have at least one piece of art at the end of this year in every VFW, American Legion, all the places that are really doing a good job and promoting veterans issues and helping out. The Veterans Assistance Commission in Peoria County, hands down, probably the best one in the state, top in the nation as far as helping veterans out. Send a lot of people to Peoria County Veterans Assistance Commission, and they're just amazing. They've helped out so many veterans, and hats off to Mike Brooks and the crew over there. They're doing a great job.
Talking with MT Ragan. He is the president and founder of 22 VA, 22 veteran artists. and he is out there keeping this situation in the forefront and helping people along the way. MT, what is the best way for our listeners to get more information on 22VA and find out how they can be a part of it?
Well, I'll tell you, come out on the 22nd of every month to one of the jumps. That's one easy way to connect with us. We're also always, every year, we're at Ignite Peoria down at the Civic Center. But I was going to say, November and December, Peoria Public Library main gallery, that's the library downtown across from the federal courthouse there. There's a huge gallery. The L1 level is a huge art gallery. We will have it filled with art for the months of November and December. So you can check us out down there. I actually will schedule tours where I can give people tours. And I'm happy always at the VFW in Peoria Heights to give people a tour of the art show, the art gallery up there. We've got some amazing stuff. And a lot of veterans, well, I'm not an artist. What can I do to help?
Right.
Well, can you tear apart bicycles? You know, we have a bicycle sculpture on the Rock Island Trail right next to Peoria Heights Public Library. You'll see like an 18-foot sculpture there made of bicycles. Preston Jackson has a sculpture on one side of the library. We have one on the other side of the library. I tell people you can help us out with tearing apart bicycles to make sculptures. You can meet with us down at our River Detachment Building, the old golf course clubhouse down at Detweiler. We're getting that opened up. We're going to be doing collaborative art pieces. I want to use art to bridge the gap between veterans and non-veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be doing a mural at Peoria Heights VFW, and the mural is going to be something that's interactive that the public can participate in. So that's going to have people on the edge of their seat wondering, how the heck is that going to work out? How can we participate in a mural? Hopefully I'll get it done here in the next couple months. And I'll be actually doing it with a non-veteran, Josh Hawkins, who's famous for the Cookie Monster mural downtown. So Josh and I are going to be working on this mural together at Peoria Heights VFW. So get out to the VFW, check it out. Everybody that belongs to a VFW or an American Legion, if you don't like the way your Legion or your VFW, or you're not a member of any of them, but you're a veteran that could qualify, come check out the VFW. Do it on Taco Tuesday. It's an amazing meal up there. See some of the artwork and see what all Peoria Heights VFW does in the community. They donate a lot to local charities. I think the drawing up there is over $200,000 right now.
What? I'll see you there.
Last year when somebody hit, it was $414,000 when somebody hit it last year.
Wow.
Better chance than any lottery in town. So get up there and check it out.
I'm talking with MT Ragan. He is president and founder of 22VA. And MT, I wonder, in all the years that you've put together 22VA, and it has grown, it has evolved, and you are making strides, has there been a moment where you had that glimmer, that light bulb of, yes, this is what I had hoped for?
Quite a few of them, actually. There was a gentleman that knew I was making art with bicycles, and he kept on me saying, I've got 2 bicycles and I want to donate them to you. I'm like, dude, I've got over 100 bicycles. You know, we're good. But he kept getting with me. He was a Vietnam veteran. So he gave me these bicycles. And then as the sculpture was getting completed, we had chosen one of the bicycles to be in the sculpture. And I just happened to be at Peoria Heights Library, and there was a young lady there, and she had the same last name as him. And I said, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of Dave for a couple months. Do you know him? She said, that was my father.
Oh.
And I'm like, was? She's like, yeah, he just passed away a couple weeks ago. He had a stroke a few months back. And I'm like, wow, take a walk with me real quick. And she's like, why? What's going on? I said, I want you to see something. He gave me a 1972 Huffy hard tire bicycle that out of all the bicycles we had, we chose it to be at the top of the sculpture. And we painted it red, kind of like one of the poppies from Flanders Field. We kind of did our own thing with the sculpture. There's a little explanation of what it's all about, but it's Roy G. Biv. So all the colors of the spectrum that every other color in art is made from is represented in the sculpture. And at the top of it in red is the bicycle from her father pointed towards heaven. She broke down in tears. I broke down in tears. She said, it's like my father's here watching over me. He sent me a sign. She had been thinking about quitting her job at the library. She's like, now every day I can look out the window and see my father there. So just that was one of those moments that was like, wow, art really does heal. And I'm glad it took like 5 times getting with this veteran. Finally, like the 5th time we met up and I got these 2 bicycles.
Yeah.
And then that one's at the top, you know, and it's a Godsmack is what I call it. You know, when I was in the Navy, I was a surface warfare qualified guy. I still sign my name SW at the end of my name, and people will be like, "Why do you sign SW still?" I'm like, "Well, it's about spiritual warfare now."
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit. So.
MT, I appreciate all you do. 22VA, a group of talented veteran artists that want to help other veterans express themselves and heal through visual and creative arts. And you can find them on Facebook at 22VA. Check them out. Give them a follow and a like. And remember that there are people out there to help you through the tough times. I tell you, community collaboration is the best. And it's all right here in Central Illinois. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode of What's Going On Central Illinois, the Greater Peoria Public Affairs Program, a weekly check of charitable community events, organizations, and neighborhood goings-on with me, Roxy, a production of Cumulus Central Illinois. Now get out there, make some beautiful memories, and do your best to be kind to all kinds, even yourself. It doesn't cost a dime. Have a great weekend and be safe out there.